All right, hey everyone. It's been a while since I had some time to shoot some videos. We've had family in town, so I just haven't had some free evenings like tonight where I'm shooting at like 11 o'clock at night to get some of these videos out. But things are going well. I am a little out of it this evening. Not super loopy, but just headachy and stuff. I got my booster shot and my flu shot today, so a little side effecty. I've been okay. Like I said, minor headache. I did one of my arms. I was feeling fine all day, and then I just smacked one against the door jamb on my left arm here as I was coming into the kitchen. So if you see this hand jerk a little bit, it's because my shoulder's in a little bit of pain. But anyway, you didn't come here to hear about me. Let's look at this guy. This is MicroCosmos MC-01 ELVIS. It is a very similar to the 5.2 Toys cube robots. In fact, here's their mantis that I brought out both to compare the size of the boxes as well as use his cube, because this figure comes with just what you see here. It does not include any of the storage boxes, unfortunately. I think you can get them by themselves from 5.2 Toys, or but I know there's a way to get some extra boxes. But anyway, they will fit in there. We'll just leave that out while we do this. But there's 3 cubes, and this is... I saw, this is not in any of the official promos, I don't think, but I saw a picture that had them arranged like this as kind of like a little weapons plinth. Like a lot of times when you get a Voltron figure, they'll have like a little stand that you can display the weapons on, and you can kind of display it like this. But I will note, none of these things are pegged together. This is just the cubes. This cube's just setting on top of there. There's nothing to launch it. So like if we put it on a shelf and knock it, there's a good chance that that's going to slide off balance. But you do get the 3 individual cubes. Black Lion forms its own cube by itself, yellow and blue together, red and green together, along with some of the ancillary weapons pieces and the shield. Although 2 of the extra cannons are here in Black Lion as well, and a couple of them help form the connection here between blue and yellow. But yeah, so you can do that if you want to display them in cube form like that, and any of them will fit in the storage box. You'll notice the red and green one is technically square, more of a flattened cube, and it will fit in there, but you can see it's a lot of extra space. It's not as large as the other ones. Black Lion by himself, again, fits in a little bit more fully, but you can see doesn't fill the whole square. And yellow and blue fit in almost a little too snugly. Like you can actually get it in a box charger, but you kind of have to shake it a little bit to get it out, because it fits a little bit more snugly than the standard 5.2 Toys cube does. But if you have some extra cubes, you can store all 3 parts in them as well. And like I said, there's a little groove here in the underside of the neck of Voltron to hold the sword. So those are the 3 cube forms. And then we'll go to lion form. For blue and yellow, you just kind of pull them apart to the side. There's just a couple little pegs here that are pegged in, one just in between the 2 lines themselves, and then one, there we go, like that. You can see there's a peg hole here and a peg hole here, and then one between the 2 weapons that are stored between the legs here. So we can pull this little peg out. That's going to go on another weapon later on. And then you just kind of untab the head. So this tab, the lion head tabs into that, and that's what holds it there. And then there's a peg here that pegs into this hole right here, and that's what locks it in the cube mode. And then this little peg goes in between it to attach to the same weapon piece. It's identical weapon pieces here, right there in the yellow lion. So we just bring this down, pop that piece off, and then you can see there's a post there. You want to rotate this around and bring it up, and there's a tab on the cube that tabs in back here. There's a dual hinge here, so you kind of got to wiggle it so that hinge collapses right there. The post is on a hinge. So that locks into place, and then you can bring the legs down like that. Oh, come on. There we go. And then bring his head down like that, and the legs come out on like a little extendable ball joint there, so you can bring those out to the side, and they've got a little bit of wiggle room there. And then the back legs, same thing. They're on like a little extendable, pull down ball joint like that. It comes out and about and gives it a little bit more wiggle room. Bring the foot down, and then the tail piece slots up, and then the gray piece flips out, and then this piece kind of it is folded in like this. It pulls up and folds down for the tail, and the mouth can open. The head can look up and down, and the thing is, like, you want this to be pegged in securely like that when you turn it into the leg. If you want a little bit more posability in lion mode, you can untab this tab right here. This piece will stay up, kind of pull it out on that post, straight out, and that gives you a little bit of curvature there in the spine, a little bit of wiggle room there on the front of the lion. It's just the way that hinge works, it can be a little difficult to get it to collapse the right way to get it to lock in place, but you just kind of make sure it bends. And there's blue lion, and it's exactly the same for yellow lion. Bring this down, leave this peg up, rotate that around, bring the whole assembly up and collapse it so it pegs in, wiggle the legs out and bring them down, and then extend the leg, pull it down at the ball joint, bring it out a little bit, tail piece extends. You can actually kind of push that, open this hatch a little bit if you need to help pushing this forward. But lift that up, fold it down, and then flip the gray parts out to form the tail, and then collapse that back up to hide that gap. Bring the head down. You can open the jaw. And there is yellow lion. Like that. I don't have them posed exactly great, but you know what I'm saying. There we go. We'll put these weapons off to the side for the time being. You can go ahead and pull red and green lion off of, they're just kind of pegged onto the back of the shield piece. This is the handle for the shield, and you can either leave it attached to this black piece, this main black piece that red and green lion were pegged into, or you can just take this and the shield off. It's a little cleaner in robot mode, but then this middle piece will end up, even when the fully armed mode, will end up kind of sitting off to the side by itself. But and then you put it in like that, and we'll grab it. I'll show you how that works in a little bit. But put that together with the shield, put this black plastic aside. And these guys are a little simpler, as you would expect from the arms. You just kind of fold them, unpeg the chin from the arm connection peg, and fold that up, and then bring the legs down like that. They kind of pull out a little bit, but they are on a ball joint, but they don't kind of rotate down. They just pull straight out here, and then fold back legs down and around. Back legs down. They also have some little tail bits that fold out. You got to lift up that whole assembly. And unless you got some really tiny fingernails, getting the tail out can be a little bit of a pain. But flip the tail out, and then this peg just folds up underside of the tail like that. I guess you can leave it hanging down, but that's a little lewd. And they've got up and down on the heads. They've got a side to side there here at the waist, and then the ball joint at the legs, and the joints inside the legs. Their mouths also open, as you would expect. There's some minor compromises here on the lion modes, mostly like how skinny these guys get here in lion mode in the midsection, which I find to be a little bit more forgivable. One, because of just the tiny size of these guys, and the fact that they're turning into both cubes and the limbs and lions, and also like a lot of them are the same kind of compromises we've been making for opposable Voltron for years. I know some of the bigger figures have done it better. There's absolutely been some better solutions to it, but at this scale, it's a little bit more forgivable. But I mean, quality-wise, they're solid. They're all hanging in there very well, and they're fun little figures. And the combined mode's actually really nice. So yeah, there's red lion. Black lion's a little bit more involved to get to lion mode. First off, these guns right here, these are what I was talking about. Just detach them there, and then unpeg them from where they are there. And these are going to be big cannons that can flip out and go on the arms or the sides of lion mode. We'll show the armored lion modes in a minute, but those can come off. And then we've got the lion mode itself. And you can see already, when there's his tail, this piece comes out, and it's going to rotate around, fold down like that, and collapse in like that. The lion legs are going to come out. Now, one of his feet does like to pop off. There's a little ball joint here at the foot, and that must be the one. One of them really likes to just pop right off. So you just got to be careful when you're bringing them down. On this hinge, we'll bring those around like that, and around like that. Form cat legs, the tail comes out like this. Actually, we may have done those backwards. Yeah, we did those backwards because the wings go on his back. And there went the foot again, which went, let me find it. All right, we found it. That's the first time it's shot off like that. So, of course, while I'm shooting a video. And then you bring the feet around like this. Bring that so the red faces forward like that. And so the red faces forward like that. Arrange the legs just to get them standing. And then the chest opens up right here. And then you can flip the lion head out. Close that back up. Rotate the lion head around. Bring the wings back. He can open his mouth. And I like the fact that they got a separate face. He can open his mouth without revealing his face, even on this small scale, which is nice. And then black lion. So there are all the lions together. And like I said, you've got, in the same kind of posability, he's got some extendable bits here at these shoulders. One, it helps move these out of the way for some of the stuff that has to rotate to turn into the combined mode, but also just to give you a little extra posability there on the legs themselves. The head's on a ball joint and the neck can move a little bit. He's got hinges back to the legs. These waist pieces can fall out of the way. Dual hinges, the ball joint at the ankle, and like various hinges in the legs. You can, if you want to, you can fold that gray piece up. If you want the front legs to be a little shorter, it's entirely up to you. But some good posability on the lions. Like I said, these cannons on black lion, where do they peg in? They're supposed to peg in. Did I do this wrong? Was I supposed to? No, that's right. Yeah. Maybe they plug in right here. I mean, you can peg them in right here, but I thought I had them pegged in a different place. I've got the instructions. I can look. Actually, instructions may not show where the weapons go. We'll find out, won't we? Box mode 1. Nope, they plug in the back tail. I may have meant to rotate the legs. I may have done the legs right and just forgot to rotate them. Yeah, we can do that. Because you can also, one of the transformation bits, yeah, because those are supposed to be on top. This is going to come in later in the robot transformation, but here we go. This pushes torso forward. This piece here rotates around, legs like that, to form, actually comes out a little bit, to form that crotch plate which tabs in right there, and then lift these up, rotate the waist around, like that. There we go. Bring the tail up here. I did have the legs right. Haha, see? I was right the first time. I had the waist wrong. Oh, come on, there we go. So bring that down like that. And then the cannons plug in right there. Where they were plugged in, that's what I thought, for the cube mode. So these cannons plug into him. Like that. So he's got some weapons. And then, like I said, if you don't put this on the shield, this just becomes a piece on the side. This doesn't actually factor into the lion mode weapons anyway. And then these, so these cannons right here, with this armature plug into the top of red and green lion. So let's see that they've got little guns that plug in up here, and you can have them facing forward or back. And you can see that's an angled piece, whichever way you want. So I got some little double cannons, and then these guys again can plug in here and plug in to the back. They do them on opposite sides, so that's how I'm going to do it. So they're kind of mirrored, which makes sense. But they can get that connects those to there. And there's the weaponed up lions like that. It's mostly just a way to help make the cube, give them some weapons. And again, you can attach them in lion mode or in combined mode, but they're a little awkward. But anyway, there is the combined lions, or the weaponized lions. Go ahead and put these off to the side. And then pull all these off. You're going to see like some, traditional transformations here. Flip up, make sure the black torso is locked into the body for one. Then flip the head up like that. Fold the leg down and around, and then again make sure that you collapse that ball joint in, because that's going to bring the foot down to a point where it actually supports and is level with the head. Otherwise, he'll have him falling backwards a lot. And then just fold again, push these kind of up into there, and fold the leg and the foot back and around that wheel and collapse it up there. This panel right here, you're now going to fold down. It's on a double hinge, and fold it in like that, so you have this open space here. And then the tail folds back up into this black piece, which then slides all the way forward and folds up to hide the tail and become kind of a kneecap there, which is actually a really neat little feature. I was super impressed when I did that the first time. Fold this up here. Fold that down. Flip up the head. Bring the leg down and fold it up. Leg down, fold it up. So, and there is yellow lion. And again, that locks in, that makes it more secure, but once he's all put together, you actually can detach that a little bit and get a little bit of an ankle tilt there if you want it. It's stiff enough that once he's all together, he's not going to fall over. But locking it in, make sure he doesn't tip. These guys do the obvious thing of just folding up their legs and pushing them in, folding this leg up and around, and then sitting it so it kind of sits flat against the top. Same here. Fold that around, fold up the tail, again back into this little piece, and then fold that flat, and then flip the peg here, down and around like that, lock it into place, and then there's the elbow bend. But there's one arm. Again, very simple here on red lion. Pull the peg around like that, and then for black lion, bring these down like this. Bring the legs around like that. Rotate them so the silver is facing forward. Rotate them so the lion foot faces forward. Because you can see these little tabs here on either side of the little cat shin. Those are important to the combined mode. Foot stay on. Bring the little hip armor down. There's 2 hinges there, so it doesn't have to fold all the way down like that. It can hang out to the side there. There's a hinge right at the body and then a hinge right at the plate itself. So do that. Fold up the lion leg around. And again, this is a part where if you're having trouble flipping things around and getting past the hip armor, you can pull that arm all the way out to give you some leeway and some freedom to make everything move the way it needs to move to get around each other. Flip the fins up. And again, this is one of the places, these are held in by screws. So when you go down, you might, if the screw twists, you might, now these are not twisting, but you might feel it get a little looser as you go down and then tighter as you go up, or vice versa if the screw's moving. So if you see the screw moving, just make sure to tighten it if you think it. But these are pretty solid now, so it may not be a concern. But just be aware that there are screws on a pivot point that when you go in both directions, one way could unscrew one of those screws. The tail folds up, down, and up into there like that. And then the head, again, you can open up the mouth. You get a small spudger or a pointy fingernail, bring that down, flip his face down like that, flip out his ears, and then flip the head all the way around like that. Make sure the torso is pushed all the way forward there, although it does slide back a little bit if you want some room to twist it. And then go ahead, and this is where these tabs come in. With the foot facing forward, there's actually a cutout, a hollowed out part in the back of these. You slide that in, and then those tabs go into some slots here on the leg and lock it into place just like that. You can, if you want, bring this up, although it won't sit all the way flush like it does when the lion leg isn't there. But if you want to just kind of bring that up to kind of hide the fact that that leg's in there, you can. It doesn't really offer any more structural stability. It doesn't peg into the back here, but you can do that if you want. And then same over here. Just take that foot and just slide these two tabs into those slots. And there is his legs are on. And then the arms just, come on, peg in to the holes here. And can move around, dual hinge. They got swivels there. I'll show them all off. And there he is, all combined. And this is where, again, if you want to untab them and get a little bit of ankle tilt, you can. Once he's all together, it makes him a little bit more solid. Make sure his torso is over his center of gravity. There we go. And again, you've got the extra kind of butterfly joint there. That looks silly, but it gives you some room there to pose the shoulders. And he's pretty fun. He's about 6 inches tall. I don't have my measuring tape out, or I could do it. And again, the sword has a little peg on it. It can peg into either hand. Just put it up into the roof of the mouth. There's a peg hole. And then we'll use just the standard peg here. Same thing. There's a peg hole here. It goes in the lion's mouth. And unfortunately, the drawback of this is that it does have the shield. You see kind of hovering much farther away from his hand than a shorter peg here. But some of that's because it's got to work for the cube mode as well. And you can kind of rotate that to make it look not quite so obviously hovering away from the hand. But he's got good posability. He's got a thigh swivel. He's got dual hinge hips. He's got hinge, the lion knees work as knees. He does have some ankle tilt there. He's got dual joint shoulders. He's got the forearm swivel. He doesn't have a bicep swivel above the elbow, but he has one just below it. The lion heads can move up and down. He does have waist swivel. His head's on a ball joint so he can look up and down and around. Less down, I guess. But then you got that little butterfly joint there as well on the shoulders. Yeah, but there's some metal in there. There's some plastic in there. He's actually pretty hefty for his size. And he's a lot of fun. I'm super stoked about him. I feel like I'm being very dry. Like I said, I've got a little bit of a headache. And it's been a long day. But he really is super fun. He's been carrying around in my bag. He's gone to work with me a couple days. And it's generally just a lot of fun to play with. And he looks really cool. As for the weapons, like I said, you can do the same kind of thing here in lion mode, and that these can peg in to the shoulders here in the same places that the guns did in lion mode, and sit up here, and you can flip them up. You can have them extended or whatever. But it's mostly just a way of storing all the weapon pits in combined mode. They don't really give them any canonical weapons that I'm aware of. But those there, I don't remember where they all go now. Oh, right. These just kind of go where you would think they would on kind of pegging to the back. Where did these go? Crap, I don't remember where these all went. Oh, right here. You can peg these on just like you did in lion mode. They can go either side, up or down. Come on, put your arm forward. There we go. I had one of his feet twisted. Oh, whoops. Oh, here you go, like this. And then these pieces can go back. You can take this, instead of having this just be this long peg in the shield, you can put this back kind of into how it was in what's the word I'm looking for? I could have sworn these went somewhere. kind of fold this up, or like that, and put this on. Put the shield up. Helps if I put it on the right way. But you can have these kind of fold up behind. I think you want it this way, behind the shield. And just it's a little awkward, but and then you can still hold it in his hand like this. Come on, put it on. I think you want it to actually go this way where it's underneath. But yeah, so it just kind of stores, it's just kind of chunks there. That's facing the wrong way, but you get the idea. It's not ideal. It's just a way of storing those extra pieces. Honestly, I think they're just fun. As I don't really need them as cubes. It's fun to just carry them around with the sword and the shield, and or honestly even just with the sword and playing with the lions. But it's a neat little figure. Again, this one came from Shozi Store. They also have a new site called Gundamit, GundamIT.com, where you can use your Shozi account. Is their new website. And yeah, pre-order it. Most online retailers have it. This one came from Shozi, and I appreciate them sending it along to let me check out. But there is MC-01 MicroCosmos ELVIS, a very nice little portable and posable Voltron.